Okay, this isn't funny. Hey there, ghosts and ghouls! Warlock Boo here, and today we are taking a dive into the lore of changelings. A lore dive, if you will. Now, changelings, those menacing little shapeshifters we all know from popular shows such as those creepy bug ponies.
One little pony all by herself. Oh, how will I ever prevent this daring rescue?
That's a show for little girls, too. So first off, what is a changeling? Well, much like the name says, they change. Well, kind of. They change forms, actually. Again, like the My Little Pony version. But at the same time, not. A changeling is a fairy that has been swapped out for a human, not in an evil I will take your life and everyone you love way. No, this is usually a fairy taking a child or a baby that they like to swap out. It's really just switching babies and children because I'm not sure. I guess they like the human baby more, but they exchange their baby with it and without the parents knowing. If you ask me, I would be pissed if someone did this. And that's actually is the myth. You see, if you think your child or loved one is a changeling to get your actual person back, you have to basically abuse the person till the fairy leaves and brings back your loved ones. Yeah, because that makes sense. I'll beat one of your kind, so you'll bring me back my baby back, and they would just choose to keep the baby. You just tortured one of them, their own kid, so why would they bring the baby? That makes no sense. Myths are odd, but changelings aren't always fairy babies. Some fairies would leave logs or rocks that had been enchanted to look like your child, and then would die shortly after because, yeah, well, why not? That makes sense. But to tell if your child was switched with a log or rock, apparently they slept a lot. So, yeah, if your kid's sleeping unusually a lot, it may really be a rock. Now, how would one go about spotting a changeling? Well, if the person's personality changed drastically, like a talkative child becoming more quiet, or a healthy child becomes sickly, because, people's personalities or health don't ever truly change as they grow up and discover who they are. Myths make no sense. Now, there's no way anyone would ever believe this, right? Well, a lot of people believe this. In fact, as recently as 1990s, there was a woman who was arrested for child abuse, but kept claiming her daughter had been taken, and she just was trying to get the fairies to bring her back. Oh, you want more details? Well, how about in 1894, there was a woman by the name of Bridget Clary, and she was a dressmaker and a piano teacher and a very outspoken, strong-willed woman. Now, she was married to a cooper named Michael Clary, and they lived somewhat happily until Bridget became sick and just couldn't shake it or get better. Well, Michael here started to get all suspicious-like and brought in some of the people from the town and demanded that she confess to being a fairy and bring back his wife. When she refused, he began to torture her and insist on confessing. Still, she basically, according to all accounts, insulted him, his mother, and his whole family. Now, this woman is kind of a badass for this. She is being tortured and insults the torturer. After this, he poured hot oil on her and burned her alive. Well, some accounts say she may have already been dead when he burned her, but still, he burned her. Now, only the people there knew what happened, but somehow Mikey convinced them all to stay quiet. Well, until the police found her body and figured it all out. But until the end, he kept saying that his real wife would come back to him. The fairies would return her. So, yeah, he wasn't that stable of a person. So, how does modern media compare to actual changelings? Well, first, there are all the changelings in horror movies and games, and yeah, they don't go at all with the myths. Evil shapeshifters aren't really what they are. Now, what about the MLP version I mentioned?
One little pony all by herself. Oh, how will I ever prevent this daring rescue?
I hate that scene. Okay, so I did say evil shapeshifters is wrong, but that's not to say this is all wrong. First, they do take the place of a loved one, but they do it so they can feed off the love. And well, I don't know why a lot of modern depictions have changelings as insectoid or insect-like. Even this is just odd now. I do like the depiction, even if it's not at all accurate. It's still really neat and creepy as hell.
One little pony all by herself. Oh, how will I ever prevent this daring rescue?
Ah! Stop showing me that clip! Now, is there one that is accurate? Well, yes, from Ancient Magus' Bride. There is a character named Shannon, who is a changeling. She was switched out with a human as a baby and later learned she was a fairy, and is now married to the human she was switched with. Now, this is very much like the myth. Not the marrying human part, but how she was switched. It's a perfect show of how the show knows the myth. But other than that, a lot of media doesn't show changelings well. As I said, mostly in horror, not much else, and they're not done right. So, what do you think of changelings? Are they scary creatures? Well, to me, as a parent, they kind of are. But what do you think? Are they the cruel, evil beings, or misunderstood? Tell me down below, and how about a nice little suggestion while you're down there? Give me something you want to see, something you want me to do a lore dive on. I'm kind of thinking of doing the Duggar, Viking zombies. They sound cool, and with God of War being big, it would be a nice little thing for you guys. But tell me down below and hit that like button and subscribe, because if I hit 1,000 subs, I will be giving out a prize. So you guys subscribe like crazy to me so I can give this prize out. You guys will love it. But until then, this has been Warlock Boo, hoping to be spooking y'all later. Bye.